Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Let That Out with Shavon Renée, where we keep it real, raw, and relatable. And today, I am honored to share my best friend and our special guest. Her name is none other than the great Deanna Nicole Dixon. Oh, hey, Didi. Hey. Oh, gosh. We are here. And guess what? Boop, we are 42 now. We were 15.
We aren't 42. I'm 41.
Oh, my gosh.
You're 42.
All this time. So that means you were 15 and I was 16.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I'm talking about we were 15 years old. Oh, my goodness. That is so crazy. Deanna, I have watched your life unfold. I have watched you from 15 until now. Oh, my God. The accomplishments that you have made. Y'all don't know, but Deanna has sang with the greatest of the greats. This girl has been on the Grammys with Beyonce. She sang with John Legend, Monica, and I know so many more that I can't even begin to get into right now. But how is it as a child singing and evolving to the woman you have become now? Did you always want to become a singer, or did you have different dreams and aspirations? Because I do remember at one point you were in beauty college, right?
As a teenager, I definitely went to beauty college.
Oh my God, I thought you never tapped into the hair industry at all, did you?
Some things I just had natural abilities to do. Mm-hmm. And it was a little side hustle in high school. I used to have a house full of people, making my parents' house smell like a whole hair salon. And I made such good money. I would do like 10 heads a weekend.
Yeah.
I had a lot of people in my parents' house. Shout out to the Dixons.
Yes, shout out to the Dixons.
Shout out to my parents for just allowing me to explore my creativity. But I never wanted to be a hairstylist. I just knew how to do hair.
Okay.
And it was a way to get out of school.
Yeah.
You could do, like what do we call it? When you took like a extra technical class. So like half a day, my junior and senior year, I was out of school. So that's really why I went to cosmetology school, let's be clear. But singing was all I ever wanted to do. From the age of 6, where my music teacher, Mr. White, told me, like, you're a star. I believed him. My old Sunday school teacher, Sister Houchins, she always just told me, like, something about you is so special. And I believe them. Yeah. And so when someone tells you something and you believe it, it's just like, oh, I'm supposed to be something greater. Yeah. Something beyond these church walls. Mm-hmm. And so for probably age 6 all the way up to my high school, teenage, early 20s, that's all I ever imagined pursuing. Yeah. The singing.
Okay. Because, I just remember us in high school and out of high school, all throughout your house, girl, you would just sing all the time.
Yes.
Oh my God, the runs. If I was practicing like you was practicing, I'd probably be amazing too. But baby, you put your work in. When they tell you, I think it takes 10,000 hours to become, baby, she way over her hours, okay? That's why it is just such an honor.
Rude.
It's such an honor, because I'd be like, Didi on the toilet in the morning singing.
Wow.
I think one day, if I'm not mistaken, we were in Chicago and you made up a song on the toilet and it was so dope.
That sounds
You don't remember
brand.
it? Mm-mm. Okay.
That
singing on the toilet.
Okay, that sounded about right. And on brand.
Listen, and so with that being said, Didi, did you ever imagine your life going? I know it took a lot to get to this point, right? Did you ever imagine your life being in this direction at your age now, or did you expect to be further along at 41?
It's interesting, even when I hear you say at this point, like as if, this is a monumental space in my life. And so I think sometimes when you have such big goals, you can't even feel what other people see. Like, people are like, oh my God, you've done so much. And I'm like, I feel so far away from where I'm trying to be.
Really?
Yeah, so I feel like I haven't even put a dent. Like, I'm looking at the United States map behind you and I see like all of these states, and I feel like I've only been to 2 or 3 of the states based on how vast my goals and dreams are. Okay. And, it started as a dream to be a singer, and then it has evolved now to where I want to build a kingdom that holds singers and that mentors singers and prepares them. So going from having a goal or dream that only served yourself to now I want to serve hundreds of thousands of people, you can understand why I feel like, oh, there's a major gap. I'm still super grateful. Yeah. So grateful that I'm able to. The funniest question my best friend has ever asked me the other day, we're in the car, she's like, so I've been wanting to ask you, like, what do you do? I asked that question because it's like, she's balling under control. Like, definitely not balling. I drive a Toyota Camry, guys, so she should calm down.
And she has a Tesla. Quit playing.
That I am not currently paying for. I'm about to send it back. Okay, let's be clear. But I am blessed. I'm blessed because I am able to do what I feel called to do full time. So that in itself, I am balling out of control. Yeah. I am like living under God's mercy and his blessings and prayers. And so that's a big deal. So I don't want to downplay the fact that I am able to drive my Toyota Camry with the Tesla that I'm about to send back in my car, in my driveway, and live well. Like, yeah. I'm able to take care of my daughter, and I'm not stressed about how I'm taking care of her. I'm able to pay my bills. But I will be honest, Vaughn, that every single month, it is literally like I'm excited when I'm able, like, whew, I made it another month. Oh. That's how, I mean, but I'm so used to walking on water and trusting God that, like, it gets easier, but everybody is not equipped to walk this journey where they don't have thousands and thousands and thousands in the bank. Yeah. But every month that I'm able to pay my way and take care of my family, take care of the people that are helping to fuel the community, I am like, oh, thank you, God, for another month. Yeah. So yeah. But to answer your question, Vaughn, what I do for a living is I sing and I create events and moments and opportunities for other singers. And God has blessed me to be able to do that full time.
And I have witnessed you do just that. I have witnessed her just take and meet people that had the same desires. And you have music out there. You have been doing the good work of the Lord, okay? You have a very, 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 you're doing your thing, but you've also put yourself on the back burner a lot because you have brought other people to the table. You know how some people are so selfish and they gatekeep a lot? I've learned that you don't do that at all. Like, you share it. You, like, there's room for everybody. And I appreciate that about you. I've come to a few of your events and to hear the testimonies of how you have poured into people's lives, to see the tears in their eyes, where you have taken your knowledge, your skills, your connections, your resources, and your Holy Spirit and your anointing, and you have poured in people's lives. Some monetary, some just putting platforms and making encouraging affirmations. All of those things are so important. And oh my God, like, I don't think there's no one else like you at all. Like, usually when people do these things, they have a motive, and it's usually to build their own selves up, right? I don't believe that's you at all. I believe this is genuinely in your heart.
No. There is definitely...
It's to build you up as well?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Like, everything I do has dual, maybe triple purposes.
Oh, it is. Okay.
It is, but that's what I love about it, though, is because it's not just self-serving. But this is why I preach and I believe in collaboration so much, because they said, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. So that's my strategy. I want to go far. Okay. So to go far, yes, I'm talented. Yes, I can sing. I could be out here touring my own album. I could make the stage all about me. But the fastest and furthest is by taking a group of people that have different stories, collaborating and sharing stages, because I've always believed that your light doesn't take from mine, it illuminates mine.
Ooh, that's
so
good.
Imagine having a stage with lights as bright as mine. All together. How bright is that?
Wow.
How powerful is that, right?
Very.
So, but let's be very clear. My brand and my name holds weight.
Yeah, it does.
because of the collaborations. And I'm not going to be shy and lie and say like, all praises be, I just forget about me. Like, no, I've worked hard. I've worked hard to be respected in my industry, to be able to walk in rooms built off of the strength of things that I've created. I put my chest out when I say that, because as proud as the moments have been for me to stand on the stage beside a Beyonce or John Legend or Kanye West, I am most proud when I am doing something great off of my own stage.
Yes.
I'm more proud. I'm like, can we talk about the fact that we just was on BET? Can we talk about, you know what I mean? That we're preparing. Like, I have a group of 40 singers that I'm about to take to LA in a month to be on a national platform.
Let's talk about that, because I wanted to dive into that.
Can't talk too much about it, but
let's talk right. Let's talk about leaving Indiana. First of all, what made you choose Atlanta?
So, great question. What made me choose Atlanta was when I was in my bag of American Idol auditions. I remember coming to Atlanta, and my great uncle and great aunt lived here at the time, and I stayed with them. And I had never seen so many Black people in my life. Growing up in Indiana is a lot of white people. I went to predominantly white schools, and it wasn't just seeing Black people. So like where we're from, when you see a lot of Black people, that usually is an indicator that you're in a rough neighborhood or a poverty-stricken neighborhood. It was never a sign of wealth. And so to come to a place where to be surrounded by Black people also meant excellence and affluence, I was like blown away. So before Black Panther came out and then Wakanda, and I was like, that was Wakanda. Atlanta was Wakanda for me.
Yeah.
And I was just like, wow.
Okay.
To come to a place where, and then also back in that day, back in that time, Atlanta had a lot of musical influence. I feel like now Atlanta is known for film and music equally. But then, I mean, it was like an entrepreneur, a music lovers, Black woman, a little girl that dreamed bigger than any place that she ever, stepped foot in Indiana. It was like, this is my home.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. What gave you the idea to venture off into the Singers Room, Music Society, the community? What gave you those ideas, and or how did you come across building that rapport with people like that? Like, how did that start?
So the origination of the ideas of these communities I built was because in some way and somehow I felt ostracized from other communities or not welcomed. And so I remember back when I would visit Atlanta, Apache Cafe was like a huge platform that anybody that was an aspiring singer, you wanted to come to Apache on a Wednesday night, and there was a possibility you could be discovered there if you were there. And I remember planning my vacation days around making it onto the Apache stage. And I was the very first person that signed up. And if it wasn't for me going to the host and checking in, because I was just like, he had called all these people up. I saw people walking in the door that he put on the stage. And I was just like, I know I was the first name on the list. I saw the list. And I went to him and I was like, am I going to be able to sing? He's like, oh, okay, yeah. We about to pull you up. I was the very last person to sing.
What?
And I remember after I sang, I got a standing ovation. And he came to me. He's like, oh, you did. And I was like, don't want to hear that. And what it told me was it had nothing to do with your talent. It had everything to do with who you knew, which is fine. We know nepotism is a real thing. But for me, I wanted to create a space that it had to do with your talent. And the requirement to come to my events for us, by us, was that you had to be a singer. I didn't need to know you. You could be referred by someone that had come, or you can send a singing video in. But it had nothing. Most of the people that would come were transplants. And so that was my inspiration. It's like I kept going places where I was not welcome. And I'm like, okay. How empowering is that to be rejected from a space and know that meant, okay, God, you're saying build your own. Because I've always said that we were created perfectly. Like, who you were as a kid was who you were supposed to be. And along the way, you refined and made modifications to be accepted, right? And to fit in, because we all want to be liked, we all want to be loved. So you do all these modifications and you're now a version of yourself that's not the most authentic version. And so the more and more I started being my authentic self, I was drawing in other people that were their authentic selves and making space for them. So like in saying like, hey, my favorite mantra is by Rene'e Brown. Don't puff up. Don't shrink. Stay in your own sacred ground.
Ooh.
And you know when we puff up? When we're trying to prove ourselves.
Yep.
You know when we shrink? When we're scared of our own light. Wow. And when we feel like our light is too big for rooms and we're just like, oh, let me walk in lightly. Ooh. I don't want to scare them. I don't want them to think I'm too much. I don't want them to think I'm too loud. I don't want to do too many runs. But when you are brave enough to stay in your own sacred ground and be yourself, build your own table, build your own communities that look like nothing you've ever experienced. That's why I keep creating these spaces.
Wow. That's really good. You had created the brand. I bought the shirt, Walk on Water.
Oh,
Can
yeah.
you please tell me how you birthed Walk on Water?
So Walk on Water is based off of a scripture, you know, where Jesus told Peter to get out of the boat and walk on water. And he was afraid. He saw the waves and he started to sink. And, you know, Jesus was like, keep your eyes on me and you'll be fine. And so in 2015 was when I first started walking on water. My whole life, I have been Hannah Montana, toggling between working a corporate job and trying to pursue my dreams whenever I could fit it in. And for the first time ever, I was just like, I just want to do it full time. At the time, I wasn't married. I didn't have a kid. And I was like, this is no greater time than now to take this risk and walk on water. And so I remember I went to my boss at the time. Well, actually, she came to me because I used to be I was like great at sales, top performer, always like in the top percentage of, you know, our quarterly sales reports. And she was like, Deanna, what's going on with you? Your numbers suck. Like, what is happening? Like, are you okay? Serious? And we were close like that. To this day, I could call her. We're still close. Hey, Fernanda, Riali. But yes, we were close. And so she was always honest with me, which I loved. I love her. She was such a spicy Italian. And she said, girl, your numbers is horrible. What's going on? And I was just like, I think I want to quit.
Oh, my goodness.
And I was like, but I'm scared. I think I want to sing full time. And I said, but can you give me 2 weeks so I can figure it out? And she's like, I'll give you whatever you need. She's like, go think about it. And I went in my office. Girl, I came back in maybe 10 minutes. And I was just like, yeah, I want to quit.
Oh, my goodness.
But in that 10 minutes, I signed up for Uber. I decided that I was going to start a wig making company called Harris Crowns.
I remember that.
And so that was like my little backup plan. So I was like, and I think maybe a few weeks before I had got offered to go on tour with Monica. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. But should this not fully work out, because I've never done music full time, I can drive Uber, I can make wigs, boo, boo, boo. I was just ready to hustle.
Yes.
So I said, yeah, I'm going to quit. And I put my notice in and I quit and I started walking on water. Wow. And I have been walking on water for a very long time. And that was 2015. We're in 2026 now. And I would say 95% of the time I've been self-employed.
Girl, to God be the glory. Do you hear me? Because listen, people out there struggling. Y'all got to hustle. The grind is real, okay? With you saying all of that, I totally spaced out the fact that you are the ride share queen. How in God's name did you... Because I didn't even know about the whole job quit. I didn't know about that. So the fact that you just told me in 10 minutes, you signed up for Uber. You was like, look, I quit.
Just in case I ever need it.
Just in case I'm going to sign up for Uber. Boom. Did you ever think that you would be... Because that platform there, that blew up like within months.
So I'm now thinking of the timeline to help me with my math. So I signed up in 2015, should I ever need it. And I didn't truly need it until 2022, so 7 years later.
Girl, quit playing with me.
So 7 years later is when I left LA to come to Atlanta and walked away at the peak of my like background singing career, because I had just performed at the Oscars. I was singing regularly with Sunday Service Choir. I was getting calls for all kinds of like really cool gigs with, you know, A-list artists. So I was just popping essentially as a background vocalist. And I made a decision to leave because at the time, Dakota, my daughter, was in kindergarten, and it was the worst year ever academically. And I'm like, who hates kindergarten? Like, who struggles in kindergarten? When I say I got a call from the principal every day with my daughter crying in the office, and it started to feel like the more I would ascend professionally, my personal life was tanking. So I'm just like feeling like a failure as a mom, and like my daughter can't articulate what she needs. And I just felt in my spirit, I said, it's time for us to go home. And for me, home was where she was born. Because I've never had plans to go back to Indiana. I'm just like, this is close enough to family, we can visit. So I made a decision to come to Atlanta, and I didn't have a plan for real. I didn't get a job. I did reach out to a few people about maybe hosting some stuff, but like nothing popped for real like I thought it would. So that was like a season of quietness, and all I had was Uber, and I was not making money. I was not making a significant amount of money. I think I remember like my friend George Lovett, which is also an incredible singer. He drove my car from California to Atlanta for me, and I paid him to do it. And I had a Ford Fusion that was paid off, but I was spending maybe like $40 to fill up, and maybe making $100 a day, so $60 a day. And I only could work during the hours that Dakota was in school. So let's just add that up. 60 times 5, that's what, $300? $300 a week. I was going to be homeless anytime. And I remember I ended up joining this online community. It was called Uber Lyft Drivers of Atlanta. And it had like over 20,000 drivers. And they would like share strategies and best practices to really monetize and be a profitable driver. And I was just like, it saved my life.
Really?
It saved my life because I was doing it all wrong. They was like, you need to get up at 3 a.m. and you need to drive for the airport hours. So I would wake up. God, I thank you so much. I would wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I would drive from 2:30 until like 7 when it was time to come home, put my daughter on the school bus, put her on the school bus, go back out and finish driving until I hit my goal. Like my goal was I was trying to at least do 150 to 200. I would range between 150 to 200. And then at that time, I started doing better because I was using these strategies. And it wasn't until, so I moved back May 2022. I started driving full-time August 2022. And then May 2023 is when I met someone that was going to change my life. I met this passenger named Tidrian, and I had such a powerful interaction with him. It was just based off of like what I had just came out of. I was just listening to him talk about like how he was like having to hide who he was. His friends didn't even know that he was struggling. He's like, I live in a nice apartment in Buckhead, and I wear nice clothes, and all my friends think I have it together, but I'm about to be evicted. And he was just sharing all this with me, and I was just like, I can completely understand. I said, you know, I left this beautiful lifestyle of singing with all these A-list artists, and I'm driving Uber, and nobody knows that. And I said, let's just imagine that this is the story of our life, and this is only a chapter. And I said, and who wants a boring chapter? Who wants a boring story anyways? Exactly. I said, this is where it gets good. And I just really encouraged him to the point where like we ended the ride crying and hugging. And he was like, have you ever thought about putting a dash cam in your car? He was like, because if you're doing this with anybody else, he didn't even know I could sing. This was just off of an interaction. Wow. He said, if you're doing this with me, I can't imagine what may come from you having just a camera rolling while you're interacting with people. And he's like, can I please have your Cash App? Now, mind you, he just told me how bad he was struggling. This was the hardest gift I've ever had to receive because he wanted to give me, he's like, do you know how much it costs for a dash cam? I said, yeah, I actually I said, I think about $150. He cashed at me $150 on the spot. And I was like, are you sure? He's like, I'm positive. Wow. And he said, get the dash cam and share your story. And I was so scared because I was just like, it was scary. You talk about, this was walking on water. I'm like, my hometown just celebrated me as a hometown hero for being on the Oscars with Beyonce. And now I had to go public with the fact that I was a full-time rideshare driver. I'm like, I don't know if this is going to be inspiring, you know? And I was like, I got to go public because I promised Tidrian I would share my story. And I remember the first video I did that went viral. Mm-hmm. I remember the first video I even posted. The first video I posted was this older lady in my car, and she was like, she said, I'm going to pray for. I said, no, just pray for me that, that God blesses me and da-da-da-da. And she's like, oh, baby, I'll pray for you. I'll pray for you right now. And I was like, oh. And she prayed for me, and I feel like she ushered in so many blessings for my life.
Oh, my goodness.
So that was the first post I ever made sharing that I was an Uber driver, was this lady praying over me. And it was a floodgate of, like, DMs. It was such a floodgate that I was just like, what? Did somebody repost something of mine? I didn't know what it was from. I had, like, 50 notifications, and I didn't get that much activity on my page. And it was everybody thanking me, like, thank you for sharing this. I do rideshare on the side, too, in between gigs, and I've been ashamed to share it because people don't understand we got to hustle in between our opportunities.
Yeah.
And so that started to set me free because I was like, oh, I'm not the only one.
Yeah. Are you still connected with the young man that
I can text and call him right now?
Really? Mm-hmm. Has he come to any of your shows?
He came to my 40th birthday party. He was there.
Oh.
I invited him to something, but I haven't physically seen him in maybe a year.
Oh, I'm glad.
But I could call him.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That is amazing. I love it. So during this time, Deanna, because we both grew up in Pentecostal Apostolic Church, honey. We both grew up a little different, though, because I got to wear pants. You couldn't. Grace Apostolic let me wear pants, but, baby, you couldn't have a TV. You couldn't.
Did you feel bad for me?
I did. I felt so bad. I wanted to sneak you on the TV so bad, but I didn't want the Lord to get me. I was a little upset that you couldn't go, like, skating with me into the movies, but, I mean, we had so much fun at your house. Right? I remember, like, because I was the only child at my dad's house, however. I got to come over your house and spend the night sometimes, and you guys were so family-oriented. It was like a big tiny desk situation at y'all house because everybody in her family is so talented. Bummy, he was always on the keys. Mm-hmm. Then we got Mr. Daddy. Then Mama got that voice, you hear me? And then, oh my God, Mama, come on in the room, Mama. And then listen, y'all are just so talented. It was never a dull moment. And the whole game was Scrabble, baby. I used to be so intimidated because I was like, they know more words than me. Family. And they used to have that little encyclopedias, dictionaries, Wikipedia, whatever y'all had to verify if the word was really the word. Listen, very intellectual family, very musically inclined. During that stage of your spirituality and your connecting with God and how you were raised until now, have you lost your faith at all during this process?
There was a period where I grew up so structured and it felt like bondage that I wanted nothing to do with that. Mm-hmm. And I had my little wild out phase where I was just like, ooh, I want free. Give me free. Woo. And I realized what I was seeking in freedom, I honestly had more flexibility and freedom and structure. Because when you don't have a plan and your life is unpredictable and it's all over the place, it's chaotic and it's stressful. And as a mom, I think becoming a mom is what brought me back to my faith and brought me back to realizing that I thrive in structured environments and that I need predictability and I need consistency and I do better with it. And there's some things you can't control, but the things that I can control, like You was laughing at me because I said I go to bed at 9 p.m. I'm living on the edge this week.
Listen,
I've been living on the edge. And it's because she's out of school this week, which I miss when she's in school because it keeps me on my schedule. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I veered away, and then I found my faith again, and it's just like I keep creating my own experience with God, and I feel closest to Him now than I've ever felt, because it's like the relationship that I'm establishing with Him feels so authentic. I feel like He's pursued me. I feel like He accepts me. I feel like He wants me. Yeah. I feel like He shows up in spaces that I haven't even invited Him to. I'm like, I didn't invite you in here, but He's like, I'm here. Yes. And I'm gonna go wherever you go because I'm in you. And it's just like so affirming to know that like He's always wanted to be here, and he's okay with being here in an unconventional way, and like serving God feels and looks way different than it did growing up. Yeah. But there are also spaces where I now value and honor the things I was taught. I get why they said, don't let your good be evil spoken of, and just being careful, be careful for nothing. And I get some of the scriptures now. But yeah, I lost my faith and I found my way back, and God has helped me to overcome major destructive periods in my life where I was battling addiction and just battling just the shame of not being the mom that I wanted to be, and the shame of being rejected by her father. And it's just so much. It's just so much, but I love him. He loved me too.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does. I can definitely see how your faith has helped shape the woman you are today. And it's carried you through this journey. Because even if you had your pinky toe in, it would never all the way out.
Yeah. For anyone that's feeling insecure about their gift, I would say you were created perfectly. And again, don't puff up. Don't shrink. Yeah. Stand your own vocal ground. Yes. And just be you. All right. Because your sound matters.
Thank you so much, Deanna.
You're so welcome.
Okay. High finger, y'all. You've heard it from my best friend, the great Deanna Nicole Dixon. Please like and follow her page.
At I am Deanna Dixon. You can also follow my business page, which is we_are_the_community.
Yes. So that wraps it up for this episode of Let That Out with Shavon Renée. I love y'all so much. And remember to like, subscribe, follow. All right, y'all. See you later. Love you. Bye.